Hello BookTube, my name is Sarah and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with a recommendations video. Now generally, I kind of give you guys recommendations all the time, but I've been getting requests lately for things that are more specific. So to start off this video, if you guys have anything that you would like me to recommend, please post it in the comments below because I am keeping a list and I promise you I will get to it. You know, if it's a specific time period that you are looking for romance recommend, and they don't just have to be romance. If there's a specific time period, if there's a specific genre, you know, if you want to hear more about baseball romance or hockey romances or romances about second chances, you know, please let me know in the comments below and I will add them to my list. And I promise you, like I said, I will get to them. This one wasn't requested, but I thought this was the perfect time to start this, I guess, kind of series off. Because I really want to do like more of these kind of videos. And the reason this is getting done this month and this, you know, it's going to be posted on Thursday in particular is because this coming weekend is the royal wedding between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, I think is her last name. And I think everybody is just so excited about it, whether or not you're a royal watcher or not. And I think it's because, especially with those of us who love romance novels so much, this is literally a romance novel come to life. You know, the handsome prince is marrying a commoner. And, you know, I mean, that's the stuff you only read about in romance novels. And I think that's what's so super exciting about it. I grew up, you know, with the royal, I didn't grow up with the royal family. We're not that close. But I grew up being immersed in the fact that we had a queen. I am a member of the, like, Canada is a member of the Commonwealth. So the queen is on our money. I can distinctly remember being a child in public school and standing up in the morning and singing "O Canada" and then singing "God Save the Queen." If someone started to sing it or played it right now, I'd probably still know all the words. You know, like, she's a figurehead. She has no real power as far as I know. The royal family, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't really. But, you know, I just think that this is just, it's magical. It really, really is. Especially with this next generation, with, you know, William and Catherine, and, you know, now Harry and Meghan and stuff like that, the next generation. I mean, I will admit, I got up super early when William and Catherine got married just so I could see the wedding. And I'm probably going to do the same thing, for Harry and, Henry. Prince Harry. It's Harry. Sorry. There's a series that I'm going to talk about in this video that's what's confusing me. But yeah, I think more than anything, not only do I want to see the wedding, I really want to see her dress. That's the part that I'm always super duper interested in. But anyway, so I've got 5 recommendations for royalty in romance because I just thought this would be kind of fun. You know, again, because of the wedding. So all of these are not necessarily romance novels. One of them I've actually taken a slight turn, but it's one that I did want to mention anyway because it does have to do with the royal family. So, excuse me. The first 2 books I'm actually going to mention are ones I have not read yet, but they've been on my radar for a little while, and they are on my TBR to eventually get to. So I hope in recommending them, they look good to you guys. They do have quite high star ratings on Goodreads, so a lot of people do seem to like them. So the first book is My Fair Princess by Vanessa Kelly. This is a historical romance novel. It is the first book in the Improper Princesses series, and it's about 3 girls who find out that they are secret princesses, like they didn't know that they were princesses. And this first story is about one of the girls, and I guess it's just her finding romance. It sounds really cute. I really, really love the cover. Surprisingly, within historical fiction, I find that there is not a lot of royalty. You get like your dukes and your earls, but not your princes and your princesses and your queens and kings, you know, things like that. So, you know, I found this one and I thought this one sounded really interesting. And again, it's been on my radar to read for a little while. And I think I might have to rectify that and try and read it in the very near future. The second book is one I talked about rather recently. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I think it was actually last month in my Harlequin anticipated reads for May. So this is a brand new release as of this month, as of the month of May. And that is Rescuing the Royal Runaway Bride by Allie Blake. This is a Harlequin romance novel, and it is about a woman who is on her way to marry the prince. It sounds like she's a commoner, so very similar. I don't think Meghan's going to take off before the wedding, though, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. But she kind of like runs away from her wedding, and she runs into this guy, and he agrees to kind of help her hide out, and the two of them start a relationship, and it sounds really, really adorable. And again, it's on my radar. I do have to pick it up. I think I have it on hold at the library right now, so hopefully I'll be able to read that one in the very near future. The next three are books I've actually read, so I have a little bit more insight into these ones. So this first one I'm going to talk about is, like I said, the one that isn't really technically a romance novel. This is more actually a historical fiction novel. It is a historical fiction novel, and it is Viktoria by Daisy Goodwin. I loved this book. It is the story of Queen Victoria. Now, there is a romance towards the end. It's her relationship with Prince Albert. I would really, really love for Daisy Goodwin to write a sequel to this about her courtship and relationship with Albert, because they were so in love with each other. I mean, from all accounts that you hear after the fact, you know, nowadays, and, you know, stuff that people wrote and things like that, she mourned him for the rest of her life, essentially. And, you know, it was heartbreaking. And I mean, it was true love. And, you know, you hear about the royals and that they have to, especially back then, probably had to marry certain people because of, you know, political alliances, royal alliances, things like that. But, you know, I really think that she truly, I mean, she loved him. And the majority of this book, though, is her, it begins when she gets the crown and goes through, you know, her learning to be queen, because she was only, I think, 18 when she took her place in the monarchy. And it was a highly enjoyable book, very well written. I listened to it on audio and I absolutely loved it, and I highly, highly recommend that one. The next one is a royalty kind of romance. Again, it's another historical fiction novel, and it is called A Kiss at Midnight by Eloisa James. This is book number 1 in the fairy tale series. I adore this series. I've read 3 of the books. Maybe I've only read the first 2. I've read this one, and then I read When Beauty Tamed the Beast. I can't remember if I've read the 3rd one or not. But anyway, these are kind of retellings of fairy tales. And this is, of course, a retelling of Cinderella. And it features a handsome prince. So this one veers off outside of the typical historical romance, where they try and stay as close to historical fact as they possibly can with the time period. This one doesn't actually have a specific time period that it takes place in. The author took a lot of liberties with this one because it is the retelling of a fairy tale. So it can be a little whimsical, it can be a little silly, but it is absolutely wonderful. Again, I believe this is another one yes, I did listen to this one on audio, and it is, I recommend this series 100%. It is so much fun. And yeah, I mean, there's a handsome prince and a glass slipper and an ugly, you know, a sister who's beautiful, and, you know, yappy little dogs, and I think a toothless lion, you know, as part of there's a menagerie at the court. There is a fairy godmother who is just amazing. She's like my favorite character in the whole story. So yeah, again, this is veering off into more the fairy tale realm, but it still does have the handsome prince, so I did absolutely have to include it in this list. And the last one that I want to recommend is actually a series, and it's 3 books. It's a trilogy, and it is more modern day. It veers. The reason I left it till last is it's because the one that probably most closely mirrors the current royal family, and that is the Royally series by Emma Chase. And the first book is called Royally Screwed. These are very, very spicy, very, very adult books. So the first story is about Nicholas, and he is the prince of this little tiny country called Westco. That reminds me so much of England. I mean, this is essentially, it's England. It's just renamed into something else. And he is the older brother, and he's the one who's been groomed since he was a child to become king, much like, you know, Prince William. And he ends up falling in love with a commoner, an American woman, and it's the story of their relationship. The second book is about the younger brother named Prince Henry? I always get the two confused. Isn't that horrible that because of a book I get their names confused? The younger brother, which sounds exactly like the current prince, you know, who's getting married this weekend, because he's a wild child, he drinks, he goes to Vegas, he's caught photographed with supermodels, you know, the whole thing, you know, and then he's pretty much told that he has to buckle down and meet a princess, or not meet a princess, but find someone who he can marry. I don't want to give away too much because it kind of spoils the first book, but he ends up actually doing like a bachelor type television show at the castle while his grandmother is on, the current queen is on holiday, and almost, you know, to find his bride, and it's hysterical. And then the third book doesn't actually follow anybody in the royal family. It is the bodyguard who you met in the first two books, and it's kind of his story with another character. So yeah, highly enjoyable. I love this series. It's funny. It can be very crude. You know, I mean, it's the guys are the main characters, so they're kind of the ones voicing the story. I believe in typical, because I think these are considered new adult. In typical new adult fashion, these go back and forth between his perspective and her perspective, like the male and female counterparts. Great on audio. Absolutely fabulous on audio. The guy who does the narration for the males is fabulous. So yeah, if you are okay with your romance being a lot on the sexier side and a lot on the, there is quite a bit of adult language, I absolutely recommend these books because they're fantastic. Anyway, guys, that is it for this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you have any suggestions for future recommendations videos, please do let me know in the comments below. And let me know, what books have you read that feature royalty? Because I would love to know and add them to my TBR. And, you know, maybe give some more recommendations to other people who might be watching this video, because that would be fabulous too. And until my next video, guys, take care and happy reading. Thanks for watching. Bye.